Chosen one, your true love is coming. God has approved it. Chosen ones, what if I told you that everything you thought you knew about finding true love was about to change forever? This isn't just another message about love. This is a divine revelation about your love story, personally approved by God Himself. Have you been feeling the deep stirring in your spirit lately? That unexplainable knowing that something extraordinary is about to unfold in your life? My friend, you're here at this exact moment because the universe has been orchestrating this divine appointment. Your presence here isn't a coincidence. It's confirmation that you are one of the chosen ones destined for a love story that will defy all earthly expectations. What makes this message different? Unlike typical relationship advice, what I'm about to share comes directly from divine inspiration. This isn't about dating tips or relationship strategies. This is about a sacred blueprint for love that God has specifically designed for His chosen ones. Can you feel that flutter of recognition in your heart right now? That gentle whisper saying this message is for me? You see, in this transformative journey together, you'll discover why your past relationships weren't failures, but divine preparation. How to recognize the specific signs that your true love is approaching. The exact spiritual steps to align yourself with this divine timing. Think about it. How many times have you questioned why love seemed to elude you? How often have you wondered if something was wrong with you? Today, those questions end. Today, you'll understand why every heartache, every disappointment, and every moment of waiting was perfectly orchestrated by God Himself. Before we dive deeper into this divine revelation, I need you to do something important. If you're feeling that deep knowing in your spirit that this message is meant for you, if you can sense that this is your season of divine love, type 777 in the comments below. This isn't just a number. It's a declaration to the universe that you're ready to step into the love story God has approved for you. Stay with me, chosen one. What's about to unfold will forever transform your understanding of divine love and your place in God's perfect plan. Part 1. The divine timing of your love. Have you ever wondered why some seasons of waiting feel longer than others? Why your heart seems to yearn more intensely during certain periods? And most importantly, why this particular moment in your life feels so charged with divine potential? Let me share with you a profound truth that reaches back to the very foundations of divine timing. In the book of Ecclesiastes, we find these words: "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven." But to truly understand why this moment is your moment, we need to journey back to another powerful story of divine timing. Consider the story of Ruth, a young widow whose life seemed marked by loss and uncertainty. Like many of you, she found herself in a season of waiting, questioning whether love would ever find her again. The fields of Moab stretched before her, vast and empty, much like the void many of you feel in your hearts right now. But God, in His infinite wisdom, was orchestrating something extraordinary. Every step Ruth took, every grain she gathered in those fields, was leading her closer to her divine appointment with Boaz. Did she know that her ordinary day of gleaning would lead to an encounter that would place her in the lineage of Christ Himself? No, just as you may not see how today's moments are weaving into your greater love story. The timing of Ruth's story is fascinating. It was during the harvest season, a time of abundance and preparation. The scripture tells us that Boaz noticed her not by chance, but because she had been faithful in her season of preparation. Think about that for a moment. While others might have seen a lonely widow in a foreign land, God saw a queen in waiting, positioning her for a love story that would echo through eternity. Your story, chosen one, carries the same divine fingerprints. Those nights when you've questioned God's timing, they're your fields of Moab. Those moments when love seemed just out of reach, they're your season of preparation. But here's where it gets extraordinary. Just as there were specific signs that preceded Ruth's divine encounter, the harvest season, her position in the right field, the favor she found, there are specific signs appearing in your life right now. There are specific signs appearing in your life right now. Have you noticed them? Those unexpected moments of peace about your future? Those random confirmations that seem to speak directly to your heart? The ancient Hebrew understanding of time isn't linear like our modern concept. They understood something we often forget, that there are kairos moments, divine appointments, where heaven and earth align for God's perfect purposes. This isn't just about calendar dates or biological clocks. This is about divine convergence. Think about this. In the story of Esther, we read that she came to the kingdom for such a time as this. The same divine precision that positioned Esther for her destiny is at work in your life right now. Every delayed answer, every not yet was protecting you, preparing you, positioning you for this very season. The mysteries of divine timing extend beyond our human understanding. Consider how the patriarchs waited for their promises. Abraham waited 25 years for Isaac. Joseph waited 13 years in Egypt before his elevation. But in each case, the waiting wasn't empty. It was pregnant with purpose. Your current season is no different. The divine timing of your love story isn't arbitrary. It's astronomical. Just as the stars had to align for the wise men to find their way to Jesus, specific spiritual coordinates are aligning in your life right now. This isn't just timing, it's divine orchestration. But here's what makes this moment so crucial. You're not just waiting for love, you're being positioned for a love that will fulfill a greater purpose. The reason this timing is perfect is because both you and your divine counterpart have been undergoing separate journeys of preparation. And now those paths are about to divinely intersect. Remember the story of Isaac and Rebekah. The servant found Rebekah at exactly the right moment, at the well, in the evening time. Your divine love story has the same precise timing. The wells you visited, the evenings you've spent alone, they weren't wasted. They were preparation for this divine convergence. Now that you understand why this timing is divinely perfect, let's explore how your past experiences, yes, even the painful ones, have been preparing you for this sacred union. This moment isn't just another season, it's the season. The divine coordinates have aligned, the preparation is complete, and your heart is ready for what God has preserved for you. Every step has led to this moment. Every tear has watered the garden of your future love story. Part 2, your journey of preparation. Have you ever wondered why certain relationships in your past seem to lead nowhere? Why some connections, despite feeling right at the time, ultimately fell apart? And most importantly, why does God allow us to experience heartbreak when He could simply lead us straight to our true love? Let me share a profound story from the Bible that mirrors your own journey of preparation for divine love. Consider the story of Ruth, a woman whose path to true love was paved with loss. A woman whose path to true love was paved with loss, uncertainty, and divine preparation. Picture this: a young woman named Ruth living in the land of Moab. She married into a Hebrew family, finding what she thought was her destined love. But God had greater plans. Her first husband died, leaving her alone in a foreign land. Can you imagine the depth of her pain, the questioning, the uncertainty about her future? But here's where the divine preparation begins. Instead of returning to the comfort of her homeland, Ruth chose to follow her mother-in-law, Naomi, to Bethlehem. This wasn't just a geographical journey, it was a spiritual transformation. Every step she took away from her past was a step toward her divine destiny. In Bethlehem, Ruth found herself gleaning in the fields, gathering leftover grain to survive. What seemed like a period of hardship was actually God's masterful positioning. You see, these fields belonged to Boaz, the man who would become her divine partner. But notice this: God didn't immediately introduce them. He let Ruth experience the humility of gleaning, the strength of perseverance, and the beauty of serving others first. Think about your own journey for a moment. Those relationships that didn't work out, they were your gleaning fields. Those moments of loneliness, they were your Bethlehem journey. Every tear, every disappointment, every moment of waiting. They weren't punishments. They weren't punishments. They were preparation. Just as Ruth had to understand Hebrew customs and adapt to a new culture before meeting Boaz, you too are being prepared in specific ways for your divine partner. Your past relationships weren't failures. They were training grounds. They were training grounds. Each one taught you something essential about love, about yourself, and about what you truly need in a partner. Remember how Ruth's story culminates. She doesn't just find love. She becomes part of the lineage of King David and ultimately Jesus Christ himself. What seemed like a series of losses and hardships was actually God orchestrating a love story that would impact generations. Your journey is no different. Those moments when you felt lost, questioned God's timing, or wondered if true love would ever find you, they were all part of a greater divine narrative. Just as a diamond must endure tremendous pressure to reach its full brilliance, your heart has been undergoing its own refinement process. Consider this. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before he was ready to lead. Joseph endured 13 years of slavery and imprisonment before his dreams were fulfilled. David waited years between his anointing and his crowning as king. Divine preparation has always been God's way of preparing his chosen ones for greatness. You see, true love, divine love, isn't just about finding someone who makes you happy. It's about becoming the person who can carry the weight of divine purpose. Your journey of preparation isn't just about relationship readiness. It's about spiritual maturity, emotional wisdom, and purpose alignment. Every heartbreak you've experienced, it was building your capacity for deeper love. Every rejection, it was protecting you from settling for less than God's best. Every moment of loneliness, it was creating space for divine connection. Now that you understand how your past has been preparing you, let's explore the extraordinary nature of the divine love that awaits you. A love that transcends ordinary relationships and fulfills your deepest spiritual purpose. This isn't just about waiting for love anymore. This is about understanding that you are being divinely positioned, just like Ruth, for a love story that will not only fulfill your heart's desires, but will also serve a greater purpose in God's grand design. Part 3. Nature of Divine Love. Have you ever wondered why some loves feel different, deeper, more profound, almost otherworldly? What if I told you that there's a kind of love so pure, so divinely orchestrated, that it transcends everything you've ever known about romantic connections? Let me share with you a story that perfectly illustrates the nature of divine love, a story that begins in the ancient city of Jerusalem nearly 3,000 years ago. Picture, if you will, a young shepherd boy named David. Before he became the great King David, he was just a simple shepherd, seemingly insignificant in the eyes of the world. But God saw something in him that others couldn't see. A heart that beat in perfect rhythm with divine purpose. In 1 Samuel 16:7, we find these profound words. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. This, beloved, is the first key to understanding divine love. You see, when God orchestrates a love story, he doesn't follow the world's superficial criteria. He looks deeper, far beyond the surface, that our human eyes can perceive. Just as he chose David, the youngest and least likely of Jesse's sons, he chooses our divine partnerships with a wisdom that surpasses human understanding. But here's where the story gets even more fascinating. Consider the divine love between Ruth and Boaz, a love story that changed the course of history. Ruth, a widow from a foreign land, found herself in a strange country, following her mother-in-law out of pure devotion. She had no status, no wealth, no apparent prospects. Yet, God was writing a love story that would become part of the lineage of Jesus Christ himself. Their story teaches us something profound about divine love. When Boaz first met Ruth, he didn't see a poor foreign widow gleaning in his fields. He saw her character, her loyalty, her divine purpose. This, beloved, is how God-approved love manifests. It sees beyond the surface, recognizing the divine imprint on another soul. But what makes divine love truly extraordinary? Unlike human, orchestrated relationships, divine love carries a supernatural signature. It's marked by a peace that surpasses understanding, a connection that feels ancient yet new, familiar yet exciting. Think about it. When Jacob first saw Rachel, he wept, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming recognition of divine orchestration. Divine love, you see, operates on a different frequency altogether. It's not bound by the limitations of physical attraction or social compatibility. Instead, it resonates with the very purpose God has written into your DNA. Let me reveal something powerful to you. When God approves a love connection, it comes with 3 distinct markers that set it apart from ordinary relationships. First, there's a supernatural peace, the kind that quiets every doubt and stills every fear. It's the same peace that descended upon Mary when the angel announced she would bear the Messiah. Your spirit simply knows, beyond all logical explanation. Second, there's divine purpose. Your union isn't just about personal happiness, but about fulfilling a greater calling. Like Esther and King Xerxes, whose union saved an entire nation, your love story has kingdom implications. Your love story has kingdom implications. Third, there's supernatural provision. Just as God provided a well in the desert for Hagar, he provides everything needed for divinely ordained love to flourish. Every resource, every connection, every circumstance aligns perfectly. But here's what many don't understand about divine love. It's not just about finding the one. It's about becoming who you were created to be in the process. When God orchestrates a love story, he's not just matching 2 people, he's fulfilling destinies. Remember the story of Isaac and Rebekah? Abraham's servant didn't find Rebekah by chance. God orchestrated every detail down to her being at the well at exactly the right moment. That's the precision of divine love. It's intentional, purposeful, and perfectly timed. Think about this. What if every relationship that didn't work out was actually God's protection, preparing you for the divine love he has approved? What if every heartbreak was actually positioning you for a love story that will leave a legacy? You see, divine love isn't just about feelings, it's about fulfillment. It's about 2 souls coming together to create something greater than themselves. Like the joining of the Jordan and Yarkon rivers, when divine love flows together, it creates a force that can't be stopped. Now that you understand the extraordinary nature of divine love, let me show you how to prepare yourself spiritually for its arrival. Because just as a vessel must be prepared to hold sacred oil, your heart must be ready to receive this sacred love. This divine love that's coming your way. It's not just another relationship. It's a holy union approved by God himself, designed to transform not just your life, but the lives of countless others through your testimony. Part 4, Spiritual Alignment and Readiness. Are you ready to align yourself with the divine love that's approaching? Have you ever wondered why some people seem divinely prepared for love while others struggle to receive it? What if I told you that spiritual alignment isn't just about prayer and meditation, but about a profound transformation that God orchestrates in your heart? Let me share a powerful story from the book of Ruth that illuminates this divine preparation for love. You see, before Ruth met her destiny, Boaz, she underwent a profound spiritual transformation that many overlook. Picture this: a young Moabite widow walking away from everything she knew, choosing to follow her mother-in-law, Naomi, into an uncertain future. Ruth's declaration, "Your God shall be my God," wasn't just about changing religions. It was about spiritual alignment. But here's what most people miss about Ruth's story. During those long days gleaning in Boaz's fields, she wasn't just gathering grain. She was undergoing a divine preparation. Every grain she picked represented a moment of surrender. Every step in those fields was a step towards spiritual readiness. Think about it. Why did God choose Ruth, a foreigner, to become part of the lineage of Jesus Christ? Because she understood something crucial about spiritual alignment that many of us need to grasp today. You see, chosen one like Ruth, your season of preparation isn't just about waiting. It's about positioning. Every moment of loneliness, every unanswered prayer, every silent night, these are your fields of bows. This is where your spiritual alignment happens. But let me take you deeper into this mystery of divine preparation. Consider Moses' transformation in the wilderness before meeting his wife Zipporah. For 40 years he thought he was just tending sheep, but God was actually aligning his spirit for a divine connection. This brings us to the three crucial elements of spiritual alignment that God is working in your life right now. First, the purification of purpose. Just as gold must be refined by fire, your heart must be purified of past wounds and misaligned desires. This isn't punishment, it's preparation. Every tear you've shed is being collected in God's bottle of remembrance, transforming into the pure gold of your destiny. Second, the alignment of authority. Like Esther's 12 months of preparation before meeting King Xerxes, you're undergoing a spiritual beautification. But this isn't about external beauty. It's about aligning your spirit with divine authority. When you understand who you are in God's kingdom, you naturally attract a love that matches your spiritual DNA. Third, the synchronization of seasons. Remember how Isaac was meditating in the fields when Rebekah appeared. That wasn't coincidence. It was divine synchronization. Right now, God is orchestrating events, shifting circumstances, and aligning hearts for the perfect moment of divine connection. But here's the profound truth that changes everything. Your spiritual alignment isn't just about preparing for love, it's about becoming love. When Jesus said, "Seek first the kingdom," he was revealing the master key to divine alignment. Think about this. What if every moment of waiting has actually been a moment of weaving? God has been intricately weaving the tapestry of your love story, and every thread of loneliness, every fiber of hope, every strand of faith has been essential to the masterpiece. I want you to understand something powerful. Just as the high priest couldn't enter the Holy of Holies without proper preparation, your heart, which is God's holy chamber of love, requires sacred preparation. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being positioned. Right now, in this very moment, God is completing the final details of your spiritual alignment. Like a master jeweler setting a precious stone, He's ensuring every facet of your heart is perfectly positioned to reflect His light, His light. Can you feel it? That stirring in your spirit. That's not just emotion, that's divine alignment happening in real time. Your season of preparation is shifting into your season of manifestation. As we move forward, you'll begin to recognize the divine signs confirming this alignment, signals that your true love is drawing near. Let's explore these sacred confirmations that God is placing along your path. Remember, chosen one, when Ruth stepped into Boaz's field that morning, she had no idea she was walking into her destiny. But her spiritual alignment had positioned her perfectly for divine connection. Your field of destiny awaits, and your heart is being divinely prepared for a love story that will glorify God and inspire generations. Part 5. Signs and Confirmations. Have you ever felt those unexplainable moments when your heart skips a beat for no apparent reason? Those instances when a specific number keeps appearing everywhere you look. What if I told you these aren't mere coincidences, but divine signals orchestrated specifically for you? Let me share a profound story from the Bible that illuminates the significance of these divine signs. Remember the story of Gideon? In the book of Judges, we find a remarkable account of how God used signs to confirm his divine purpose. Gideon, uncertain about his calling, asked God for a sign. He placed a wool fleece on the ground and made a specific request. If the fleece was wet with dew in the morning while the ground remained dry, he would know God's will. The next morning, the fleece was so saturated that Gideon could wring out a bowlful of water while the ground remained completely dry. But here's what makes this story even more extraordinary. Gideon, still seeking absolute certainty, asked for another sign. This time he requested the opposite. The fleece should remain dry while the ground became wet with dew. And once again, God provided exactly what he asked for. This biblical account teaches us something profound about divine signs in our own lives. Just as God understood Gideon's need for confirmation, he understands your need for reassurance about your approaching divine love. In today's context, these signs manifest differently, but their divine nature remains unchanged. Let me explain how you can recognize them. First, pay attention to repeated patterns. When God is confirming something in your life, he often uses repetition. You might notice specific numbers appearing consistently, perhaps 111, 222, or 722, or 777. These aren't random occurrences. They're divine numerical sequences carrying specific messages about your love journey. Think about those moments when you suddenly think of someone, and within minutes, something reminds you of them again. Or when a specific song that speaks to your heart starts playing everywhere you go. These aren't coincidences. They're divine choreography. Consider Sarah's story, a woman from our community who experienced this firsthand. She kept seeing white doves everywhere for 3 weeks straight, in her garden, on her way to work, even in advertisements. Then, at a coffee shop she'd never visited before, she met her now husband, who, remarkably, was wearing a tie with small dove patterns. The universe speaks in synchronicities, those seemingly random events that align too perfectly to be mere chance. Like when you're thinking about love and suddenly every conversation you overhear seems to be about relationships. Or when you randomly open a book and the passage speaks directly to your situation. But here's what's crucial to understand. These signs aren't just random spiritual phenomena. They're specific, personal communications from God to you. Just as he provided precise signs for Gideon, he's providing tailored confirmations for your journey. He's providing tailored confirmations for your journey. Think of these signs as divine breadcrumbs, leading you toward your destined love. They might appear as recurring dreams with specific themes or symbols, unexpected encounters that feel divinely orchestrated, words or phrases that keep appearing in different contexts, sudden intuitive knowings that feel different from regular thoughts. Remember the story of Rebekah at the well. When Abraham's servant sought a wife for Isaac, he asked for a specific sign. The chosen woman would offer water not only to him, but also to his camels. This wasn't just a test of kindness. It was a divine confirmation orchestrated by God. Similarly, the signs appearing in your life right now are part of a greater divine orchestration. They're not meant to confuse you, but to confirm that you're aligned with God's timing for your love story. But here's the key. Just like Gideon's fleece, these signs require your attention and recognition. You must be spiritually attuned to notice them. This doesn't mean becoming obsessed with finding signs everywhere, but rather developing a gentle awareness of God's guidance in your life. When you start recognizing these divine confirmations, you'll notice they often come in threes, a biblical number of completion. The first sign catches your attention. The second confirms it wasn't a coincidence. And the third provides absolute certainty. As these signs increase in frequency and clarity, they're preparing you for something profound. The moment when divine timing aligns perfectly with your heart's deepest desires. Now that you understand how to recognize these divine signs, let's explore how to trust and surrender to this perfect timing. allowing your destined love to manifest in its full glory. Part 6. Trust and Surrender. Have you ever wondered why letting go feels like the hardest thing to do? Why surrendering your heart's deepest desires to God seems almost impossible? What if I told you that the very act of surrender is the key that unlocks your divine love story? Let me share with you a profound story from the Book of Ruth, a testament to the power of trust and divine timing that resonates deeply with your journey today. Picture this: a young Moabite woman named Ruth, standing at the crossroads of her life. She had lost everything: her husband, her security, her future. In that moment of complete uncertainty, she faced a choice that would echo through generations. She could either cling to what was familiar, staying in Moab with her people, or surrender completely to an unknown future with her mother-in-law Naomi in a foreign land. But here's what makes Ruth's story extraordinary. In that moment of decision, she didn't just make a logical choice. She made a leap of faith that would change the course of history. "Where you go, I will go," she declared to Naomi. "Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God." Think about the magnitude of that surrender. Ruth wasn't just changing her address. She was abandoning everything she knew, trusting in a God she barely understood, stepping into a future she couldn't see. She had no guarantee of acceptance, no promise of provision, no assurance of love. Yet in that complete surrender, something miraculous began to unfold. As Ruth gleaned in the fields of Bethlehem, a foreigner, a widow, seemingly forgotten, God was orchestrating a love story beyond her wildest dreams. Enter Boaz, a man of standing, a man of honor, a man divinely positioned to recognize Ruth's worth. But here's the crucial part that speaks directly to your situation right now. Ruth didn't chase after love. She didn't manipulate circumstances. She simply remained faithful in her surrender, trusting God's timing, doing what was right before her. And in that space of trust, God wrote a love story that would become part of the lineage of Jesus Christ himself. Your story mirrors Ruth's more than you realize. Like her, you stand at a crossroads. The world tells you to chase after love, to make it happen, to control your destiny. But God is inviting you into something deeper, a sacred surrender that opens the door to divine orchestration. Remember this: Ruth's story isn't just about finding love. It's about discovering that surrender is the pathway to God's best. When she let go of her plans, her timing, her understanding of how things should work, she stepped into a love story that exceeded her expectations. What would happen if you surrendered like Ruth did? If you released your timeline, your specifications, your careful plans into God's hands? This isn't about passive waiting. It's about active trust, about believing that the God who wrote Ruth's love story is writing yours too. Look at how God honored Ruth's trust. He didn't just give her a husband, he gave her a place in history, a role in the greatest story ever told. Your surrender today isn't just about finding love. It's about stepping into your divine destiny. The beauty of Ruth's story, and yours, is that surrender isn't a one-time event. It's a daily choice to trust, to remain faithful, to believe that God is working even when you can't see it. Just as Ruth couldn't have imagined becoming the great-grandmother of King David, you can't yet see the magnificent story God is writing for you. But here's the profound truth. God has already approved your love story. Just as he positioned Boaz in Ruth's path, he is positioning your divine counterpart. Your surrender isn't about giving up. It's about giving over your heart's desires to the one who planted them there in the first place. As you embrace this surrender like Ruth did, you're stepping into a space where divine love can find you. And speaking of finding you, let's explore how this surrendered heart opens you to experience the profound healing power of true love. The key to this divine surrender is understanding that God's timing is perfect, his plan is secure, and his love for you is unfailing. Just as Ruth's surrender led to a love story that changed history, your trust in God's perfect plan is preparing you for a love that will transform not just your life, but touch generations to come. Part 7. The healing power of divine love. Have you ever wondered why some wounds in your heart seem impossible to heal? Why past hurts continue to echo through your present, even when you try so hard to move forward? What if I told you that divine love carries a healing power so profound that it can transform even your deepest scars into testimony of God's grace? Let me share with you a powerful story from the book of Hosea, a testament to how divine love can heal even the most broken hearts. In ancient Israel, God called a prophet named Hosea to live out one of the most extraordinary love stories ever told. Imagine being asked by God to marry someone you know will break your heart. That was Hosea's calling, to marry Gomer, a woman who would repeatedly be unfaithful to him. But this wasn't just any marriage. It was a living metaphor of God's unconditional love for his people. Despite Gomer's infidelity, despite her running away multiple times, Hosea was commanded to keep loving her, to keep pursuing her, to keep pasturing her, to keep pursuing her, to keep offering forgiveness and restoration. Picture this: Hosea standing in the marketplace, publicly purchasing back his own wife who had sold herself into slavery. The crowd watches, whispering, judging. But Hosea's love, reflecting God's divine love, transcended human understanding and social expectations. This is the kind of healing power that true divine love carries. It doesn't just patch up wounds, it transforms them completely. Just as Hosea's love restored Gomer's dignity and identity, the divine love coming into your life will heal places you didn't even know were broken. Think about your own journey, those moments of rejection that made you build walls around your heart, the betrayals that taught you to keep people at arm's length, the disappointments that made you question your worth. These aren't just painful memories. They're about to become the very places where God's healing love will shine the brightest. You see, divine love doesn't heal like human love does. Human love often tries to cover up scars, to pretend they don't exist. But divine love, it goes deeper. It reaches into the root of the wound and brings transformation from the inside out. Remember Ruth, another powerful example from Scripture. After losing her husband, facing poverty and displacement, she encountered a love that not only healed her grief, but restored her entire destiny. Through Boaz's divinely orchestrated love, Ruth went from being a widow and foreigner to becoming part of the lineage of Jesus Christ himself. This is the magnitude of healing that awaits you, chosen one. The love God has approved for you isn't just about finding a partner. It's about experiencing a love so pure, so powerful, that it will rewrite your understanding of what love can do. When this divine love enters your life, you'll find yourself healing in ways you never expected. Past rejections will lose their sting. Old insecurities will fade away. Trust will begin to feel natural again. Your capacity to receive love will expand. Your ability to give love will deepen. But here's what makes this healing truly extraordinary. It's not just for you. Just as Hosea and Gomer's story has inspired millions throughout history, your healing journey will become a testimony that brings hope to others. Think of it like this. Every crack in your heart that divine love heals becomes a channel through which God's light can shine to others. Your story of restoration will become proof that divine love can heal what human love cannot touch. I know right now you might be wondering, can love really heal wounds this deep? Can my broken places really be made whole? Let me assure you, what God has approved, He will perfect. The love coming your way carries His healing power, His restoration, His divine touch. As this divine healing unfolds in your life, you'll begin to understand that this isn't just about your personal restoration. It's about stepping into a greater purpose that God has designed specifically for you and your future partner. Let's explore what this divine purpose looks like. In the quiet moments before this love arrives, Prepare your heart to receive not just love, but complete healing. Because when God approves a love story, He ensures it carries all the power needed for total restoration. Your journey of healing is about to begin, chosen one. And through this divine love, you'll discover that every broken piece of your past was simply waiting for God's perfect timing to be transformed into something beautiful. Part 8. Your divine purpose together. Have you ever wondered why some love stories seem to ripple through history, changing not just two lives, but entire generations? What if I told you that your divine union was designed for something far greater than personal happiness? Could it be that God has orchestrated your love story to be a beacon of hope for others? Let me share with you a profound truth that dates back to the very foundations of divine love. In the book of Genesis, we find the story of Isaac and Rebekah, a love story that wasn't just about two people finding each other, but about fulfilling God's covenant with Abraham and blessing nations. Picture this: a servant traveling across vast desert lands, seeking a bride for his master's son. He wasn't just looking for any woman. He was searching for someone who would help fulfill a divine purpose. When Rebekah appeared at the well, showing kindness not just to him but to his camels, it wasn't merely a coincidence. It was divine orchestration at its finest. Their union wasn't just about personal happiness. It was about continuing a lineage that would eventually bring forth the Messiah. Think about that for a moment. Their love story was part of a divine plan that would impact humanity for generations to come. This, beloved chosen one, is the kind of purpose God has in mind for your divine union. But let's go deeper into understanding this divine purpose. Have you noticed how the most powerful love stories in Scripture always served a greater purpose? Joseph and Mary's union wasn't just about their relationship. It was about bringing forth the Savior of the world. Aquila and Priscilla's marriage wasn't just about their happiness. They became instrumental in spreading the early Christian church. Your divine union, my friend, carries a similar weight of purpose. Think about the unique gifts and calling God has placed within you. Now, imagine those gifts being amplified and enhanced through the power of divine partnership. This isn't just about finding someone to share your life with. It's about finding someone who will help you fulfill your God-given destiny. When two souls divinely matched come together, their impact multiplies exponentially. It's like when God took 5 loaves and 2 fish and fed thousands. He takes what you both bring to the table and multiplies it for His glory. Your love story will become a testimony that will inspire others to believe in divine timing and God's faithfulness. Through your journey, others will find hope in their season of waiting. Through your union, others will witness the beauty of God's perfect plan unfolding. Consider this. Every challenge you've faced, every lesson you've learned, every gift you've developed, they're not just for you. They're not just for you. They're preparation for the impact your divine union will have on the world. Your love will demonstrate what true partnership looks like, not just romantic love, but spiritual synergy that advances God's kingdom. Think of it as a divine collaboration, where your combined purposes create a powerful force for good in the world. Remember Ruth and Boaz? Their love story wasn't just about finding happiness. It was about establishing a lineage that would lead to King David and ultimately to Jesus Christ. Similarly, your union has implications that extend far beyond your immediate circle. This is why the waiting has been necessary. God hasn't just been preparing you for love. He's been preparing you for purpose. Every delay, every disappointment, every divine detour has been shaping you for this greater calling. Your divine union will become a living testament to God's faithfulness. People will look at your relationship and see hope for their own journey. They'll witness how God can take 2 separate paths and weave them together into something beautiful and purposeful. But here's what makes this even more extraordinary. The impact of your union will create ripples that affect future generations. Just as Abraham and Sarah's faith and love story impacted nations, your divine union will leave a legacy that extends far beyond your lifetime. The love you share won't just be about romantic fulfillment. It will be about kingdom advancement. Together, you'll create spaces of healing for others. You'll demonstrate what godly partnership looks like. You'll show the world how two people submitted to divine purpose can become a powerful force for transformation. As we prepare to conclude this divine revelation, let's understand how to embrace and step into this greater purpose. But first, you need to know these final truths about your approaching blessing. This isn't just about finding your soulmate. It's about finding your soul's mission together. Your divine union is part of a greater tapestry of purpose, woven together by the master designer himself. Remember, chosen one, when God brings two people together for his purpose, he provides everything needed to fulfill that calling. Your love story isn't just about you. It's about his glory being revealed through your union. Stay in faith, stay in preparation, for your divine purpose awaits its perfect moment of manifestation. Conclusion. Embracing your destiny. Beloved chosen ones, as we come to the end of this divine revelation, take a moment to reflect on the profound journey we've shared together. You came here seeking answers about love, and God has revealed something far more extraordinary, a divine blueprint for a love story that transcends ordinary understanding. Through each step of this message, we've uncovered sacred truths about your unique position as a chosen one. Remember what we've discovered together. Your season of waiting wasn't a punishment. It was preparation. Those moments of loneliness weren't empty. They were filled with divine purpose. The challenges you faced weren't setbacks. They were stepping stones leading you to this very moment. Now, I want you to pause and truly absorb this truth. Your love story isn't just another romance. It's a divinely orchestrated masterpiece that God himself has approved. Every tear you've shed, every prayer you've whispered, every moment of doubt you've wrestled with, he's seen them all, and they're about to transform into your testimony. But here's the crucial question that only you can answer. Are you ready to step into this divine love with complete faith? Are you willing to trust God's perfect timing, even when your human understanding wants to rush ahead? This isn't just about finding love. It's about stepping into your divine destiny. Your true love isn't just coming. They're being divinely prepared, just as you are. This union will be more than a relationship. It will be a force for God's purpose in this world. If this message has stirred something deep within your spirit, if you can feel that divine recognition that this truth is for you, I invite you to take action. Type "Ready for Divine Love" in the comments below. Let it be your declaration of faith, your moment of alignment with God's perfect plan. Share your journey with our community. How has this message touched your heart? What revelations has God given you through these words? Your story might be exactly what another chosen one needs to hear to keep believing. For those still waiting, hold on to this truth. God's timing is perfect, and his promises never fail. Your love story is being written by the greatest author of all time, and every chapter has purpose. I want to express my deepest gratitude for allowing me to share this divine revelation with you. If you haven't already, subscribe to join our community of chosen ones. Hit that notification bell to ensure you don't miss any future divine messages that God has prepared for you. Remember, chosen one, you're not just waiting for love. You're being prepared for a divine purpose. Your love story isn't just about you. It's about God's glory being revealed through your union. Stay faithful, stay prepared, and most importantly, stay tuned to the divine timing that's unfolding in your life. Your true love isn't just coming. They're arriving with God's perfect stamp of approval. Until our paths cross again in the next divine revelation, may your heart remain open to the magnificent love story God is writing for you. This isn't goodbye. It's simply the end of one chapter and the beginning of your greatest love story yet. God bless you, chosen one. Your time is coming, and it will be more beautiful than you could ever imagine.